bigger. Why do they always have to go bigger?
Shortly after Charles was defeated, Thomas took Oliver to reunite with Duck. Meanwhile, Duck was at Tidmouth Station complaining to Donald and Douglas. "I do say, you two, the Little Western has been getting a lot more work than usual, even for the three of us to handle." "We agree with you there, Duck." "Aye, I just wish there was another engine to help us out." "I think I might be able to help you out, Duck." "Oh, thank you, Oliver. We could really use the Wait! Oliver? It's so great to see you again, dear friend. I don't believe it, Dunny. Oliver's still alive. Neither do I, Dougie. But how did you survive? It's a long story, you three. And this was the story Oliver told. Back when I fought Diesel 10 as a mutant, we both fell into the scrap pit. I managed to grab onto the ledge and climb back to safety. Diesel 10, on the other hand, wasn't so lucky. He tried to grab on, but he eventually fell into the molten metal, where he became molten metal himself. Fizzling fireboxes? That's terrible! Afterwards, I fought and defeated an engine called Charles. Luckily, Thomas and the others took me to the steamworks, where I am now permanently cured. Well, that's great, Oliver. It's great to have you back. It's great to be back, you three. Now let's get to work. And with that, the four friends happily got to work. Meanwhile, there was something terrifying and strange going on in the smelter's yard. Whatever was left of Charles the Train was combining with whatever was left of Diesel 10, which in turn led to a monstrous result. Meanwhile, James was taking a local train on the main line. As he was puffing along, he noticed movement coming from the junction. He puffed slowly forward to investigate the situation, and what he saw nearly made him jump off the rails. There, heading towards him, was a mysterious Diesel. He kinda looked like Diesel 10, but with Charles's color scheme. He also had 2 hydraulic claws instead of 1, along with black eyes, blue pupils, and a mouthful of sharp teeth and a completely red face. James, who was too tough to speak, reversed as fast as he could, with the mysterious Diesel hot on his trail. Meanwhile, Thomas was on the main line on his way to his branch line, when James raced past him at an alarming speed. "Go back, Thomas! He's after us!" Thomas was confused. "James, who's after you?" Then he saw it. "Oh my God! What the hell is that thing? Driver, reverse back, quickly!" The driver didn't hesitate. Soon enough, Thomas was puffing away as fast as he could. The engine was getting closer and closer. One of his claws snapped at Thomas, just missing him. "Bust my buffers! That was close!" "Quick, Thomas, let's hide in that siding!" The two hid in the bush-covered siding, and the Diesel couldn't find them anywhere, so it left. "Thomas, what the hell was that thing?" "I don't know, James. It kinda looked like Diesel 10, except it had 2 hydraulic claws instead of 1, and it kind of had Charles's color scheme." "Let's go back to the sheds and warn the others." Back at the sheds, the other engines were talking about their day's work. Then Thomas and James came rushing in. Guys, there's a new monster!" "Another mutant? That can't be good. What did he look like?" James described what he saw to the other engines. The other engines were horrified. "So you're saying that the engine looks like Diesel 10, but with Charles's color scheme? But how is that even possible? Unless..." Edward paused for a moment. "Unless what, Edward?" "Unless a part of Charles somehow survived and made its way to the smelter's yard, where it fused with Diesel 10 and became a monstrosity." But why the second claw, Edward? That doesn't matter now, little Percy. What matters is that we need to find a way to dispose of this mutant. Gordon's right. We cannot have another mutant running around the island of Sodor. We must do something. But how? That thing had 2 hydraulic claws instead of 1. Wait a minute, I might have an idea. The hydraulic claws are made out of metal, right? Yeah? If that's the case, then that must mean they can be magnetized. Oh, I get it. You mean you want to use a giant magnet to immobilize the giant claws so we can neutralize the threat? Exactly, Percy. There is one teeny tiny problem with that, Edward. Where the bloody hell are we gonna get a big enough magnet? Let alone 2 big enough magnets! What about Cranky? He has that spare magnet. We could use that. And that way there, the mutant will be hanging from Cranky, unable to move. Percy and I will head over to Brendam Docks now. When Thomas and Percy got to Brendam Docks, they explained the situation to Salty and Cranky. That magnet hasn't been used in a very long time, me hearty. Are you sure you want to do this? We have to, for the sake of the island. If it'll save the island, I'll do it. Then some workmen climbed on top of Cranky and installed the magnet on his cable. Meanwhile, James was racing as fast as he could, luring the diesel to Brendam Docks. All right, Cranky, here they come. Get ready to magnetize. You got it, Thomas. James raced past the docks. Now, Cranky, now! Cranky turned on the magnet and pointed it at the mutant. The mutant struggled to press forward in his pursuit for James, but was overpowered by the magnet. He was dangling in midair, unable to move. Harold, bring in the chainsaw! Then Harold the helicopter came flying in with the buzzsaw and began to cut the hydraulic claws off of the mutant. The mutant screamed in horrible agony as his arms were being cut off. He then fell into the water below. Cranky then lifted the mutant out of the water and put him just off the tracks. The workmen then removed the mutant's wheels so he would be unable to move. By that point, Sir Topham Hatt had arrived. Well, what do we have here? Thomas told Sir Topham Hatt what had happened. I see. Salty, I want you to find the nearest flatbed. Aye, sir. Cranky, I would like you to load the diesel onto the flatbed. Yes, sir. And Thomas, you and Percy take him to an abandoned siding until I know what to do with him. Yes, sir. Will do, sir. After the mutant was loaded onto the flatbed, Thomas and Percy took him to a siding far away from Sodor. Afterwards, work continued as usual on Sodor, but Sir Topham Hatt thought long and hard about what he was going to do with the mutant diesel. He would eventually figure out what to do with the diesel, but that's another story for a different day.